Welcome, race fans, out to Auto Club Speedway here in California tonight. Southern Motorsports Xfinity Series, the Lazy Days Racing Xfinity Series, will be here tonight. 125 laps, I believe, is what they said during their drivers' meeting before they took it back onto the track for the rest of practice. We do have Al Smith Jr. joining us later on tonight. I am Steven Parks, as usual, here on MaxSpeed TV 3, here every week with your Southern Motorsports Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. So we are watching the rest of qualifying as it wraps up here. They do have, I was told earlier, they will be using the Daytona setup tonight. They had a little bit of an issue with the initial setup of the server tonight, and they accidentally got the... Why don't we have any... We're not getting any track audio. One moment. Let's see if we can fix this here really quick. There we go. We're getting some track audio now. We're going to be messing with some things here and there, and then did have a little bit of issue after resetting up our equipment. Did a little bit of changing here in the booth tonight. Let's see if we can fix, if we can get our microphone levels up a little bit more. See if that's a little bit, that is a little bit better. All right. So we are set now. We're gonna be have Al Smith Jr. joining us later on tonight. Said he would be a little bit late tonight, but taking a look at some of these times coming in, and like I said, they are using the Daytona setup here tonight with Auto Club. It does run like a super speedway, so should be okay for these guys. They were saying they got to do a little bit more throttle control coming out of the corners. But most of these guys have said the setup is not bad out there. We'll get a word in with some of the drivers as we go to racing. Keith Haney holding on to that fastest lap at the moment with a 39.863. Chris Grosso, Brad Hicks, Travis Wall, and Thomas Keane, your top 5 in practice right now. We are coming to that last minute of qualifying now. And we will take a step away for our not qualifying, for practice. We'll take a step away for our national anthem, come back for the qualifying of the Auto Club 125.
them out, guys.
And now, the most famous words in motorsports. Gentlemen, start your engine!
All right, and we are waiting for those first times to come in. It just looked like a lot of guys on the track right now. We do have a couple that I believe a couple of these guys have already stated they will be starting from the pit tonight, not going to qualify, not going to risk trying to fight through the rest of the field while they try to get to the front. Or they're not going to risk getting in a lot of that damage up front. They're going to risk starting at the back and having to battle their way through the field tonight. And we did see our first time come in. Travis Wall with the fastest time so far tonight. He's holding on to that time as Ryan Gemmel, Eric Barilli, Jim Lockie, and Jade Buick all come through. Now, something different they do here compared to the Cup Series with Southern Motorsports is they do a solo qualify, where the Cup Series they do an open qualify, so definitely a little bit different here. More times coming in. Keith Haney now taking over that top spot tonight on the pole. Travis Wall still in that second spot. Joe Mitchell, Ryan Gemmel, and Eric Barilli now rounding out your top five. While we're waiting for the rest of these qualifying times to come in, let's go ahead and take a look at our point standings here in the Lazy Days Xfinity Series. They're ramping up for the chase, I believe. Yes, they are not in the chase just yet. So your top 10 as they sit right now. Brad Hicks sitting on the top of the points. David Gainforth in second. Chris Simard in third. Eric Barilli in fourth. Ryan Gemmel in fifth. Michael Palmer is also tied for fifth. Thomas Keene is in seventh at the moment. Justin McDuff is in eighth. Dean Viney in ninth. And Joe Mitchell rounding out your top 10 in points. And let's take a look to see where these guys sit in their schedule at the moment. This is round number 9. Next week they will head to the chase. So let's go back to those points. Let's see who's on the bubble, as they will run 12 in the chase setup here for the Xfinity Series. So Bobby Jonas currently is scored as 11th. Daniel Haney is scored as 12th at the moment. On the bubble, you have David Howard Jr. in 13th. Let's see how many points behind he is. He is 2 points back from 12th. Lynn McNeese is 1 point, and Lynn currently sits in Keith Haney, sorry about that, is 1 point back. Lynn McNeese in 15th is 24 points back. So if Lynn could get a good run out here tonight, and I'm not even sure if he's on the track. No, he is not. Lynn is not on the track tonight. They got 30 drivers though, and let's see. Keith Haney, I know, has got to be fighting for a spot. He's got to beat Daniel Haney and David Howard Jr. to get in to the chase tonight. So Keith Haney's right now sitting up in front, and that's where he's got to finish tonight to make the chase. So we are now going to the grid. Let's go ahead and take a look at our grid tonight. Keith Haney for Georgia Boys Racing will start on the pole. Travis Wall will start in second tonight. Joe Mitchell will start in third. Sean Lejeune will start in fourth. Chris Garoso will start fifth tonight. Ryan Gemmel for MB Motorsports will start in sixth. Eric Barilli for Lazy Days Racing will start seventh tonight. Brad Hicks will start in eighth. Jim Locking will start in ninth tonight. Justin McDuff will start in the 10th slot. Daniel Haney for Georgia Boys Racing will start in 11th. Ronald Etheridge will start 12th tonight. David Gainforth will start in the 13th spot. Paul Cohen will start 14th. Rob Whitmore will start in 15th tonight. Michael Palmer in the 16th spot. John Estes in 17th. Dean Viney in 18th. Jay Dubuque will start in 19th. Jeff Glockner in 20th. Lynn McNeese, he is on the track. We didn't see his name on the driver's list, but he is back in 21st. Thomas Keane for Apex Racing UK will be in 22nd. David Howard Jr. will start 23rd. Adam Baker for MB Motorsports will start 24th. Ivan Jones for Lazy Days Racing will start in 25th. Bob Skinner for DVS Racing will start in 26th. Bobby Jonas for Jonas Motorsports will start in 27th. Joe Owen for Jonas Motorsports will start in 28th. James Haney for Georgia Boys Racing will start 29th tonight. And Paul Zotto will round out the field for SoMo Racing in 30th. So we will see if some of these guys do elect to either pull it to the pits or decide to bring it down or ask for an EOL to start this race tonight. And everybody has gridded up, so I believe we will be pulling off of pit road here in a moment. And it actually doesn't look like we are going to get one. Only one driver decided to pull it off into the pits. And that will be the outside line. What number driver is that? The 7 of David Howard Jr. So we'll go back out front while we wait for this race to start. Now this track does run a lot like the Super Speedway, but it does have the cornering like your traditional speedway, so it should be interesting to see how long these guys can go before those tires start to wear. Keith Haney, very good at saving those tires. Pace car getting ready to dip off here as we begin 125 laps at Auto Club. There goes the pace car, and Keith Haney will bring him to the line as they wait for that green flag to come out. There's the green flag, and we actually have 120 laps tonight. So Keith Haney off to racing here tonight. Can he defend that outside line of Travis Wall? We are seeing it right now, but I know as this run goes on, they will prefer that high line because you'll get more grip up there. And we have yet to see Travis Wall take it down. Keith Haney still out front. Let's go back here to Travis Wall, who is on that high side at the moment. And he's got the 54 of Joe Mitchell down below him. He is sticking ahead of him at the moment. But we're seeing Keith Haney kind of switch lanes, trying to bend both lanes early on in this race. Interesting move by him. And 54 is losing a little bit of control. Able to gain control back of his car. He's going to lose some positions. Going to give up third to Chris Garoso. Eric Briley's going to move in front of him. Brad Hicks, Justin McDuff, Ryan Gemmel, Sean Lejeune, all moving ahead of him. Now Jim Locking working on moving ahead of Joe Mitchell. now we are going to head back up the pack because we got a battle for third spot. Eric Barilli trying to make the run on the 42 of Chris Garoso. And the points of Brad Hicks right behind those two as they battle it out. He's giving them some room, and we might have a lead change here. Keith Haney in danger of losing that lead early on in this race. And he needs that win tonight to move on. Keith Haney right now defending Travis Wall, who pushed him pretty hard on the front stretch there. There we go. Al Smith Jr. is in the booth with us now. How's it going, Al?
Good. How's it going, guys? Sorry, I just got caught up in the elevator here in California, Steve. Got a little stuck.
Yeah, we're 5 laps into the battle right now. Keith Haney is holding off Travis Wall for that lead. And rounding out your top 5 at the moment, Chris Garoso, Eric Barilli, and Brad Hicks. So really, that whole front 5 is pretty fast and has a chance to win it. And then we have about another 5-car pack with the 83 of Ryan Gemmel, Justin McDuff, Joe Mitchell, Sean Lejeune, Jim Locking. And we actually got a spin. We're going to have a caution here. John Lejeune spins it. Oh, and gets smacked by the 55 of James Haney. So that is our first caution of the night. Wow, and Sean Lejeune gonna have to go to that infield med center. I'll have to see if make sure he's okay. That car is done for the day. It looks like he blew his engine. He will be taking that car behind pit road. All right, let's see. I'm showing James Haney as our leader. And I don't think he is. I believe it is Keith Haney. It's Keith Haney now bringing it down pit road. They're going to go for their first pit stops of the night. And we'll see who comes off pit road first. Keith Haney and Travis Wall getting into their pit stalls. Almost the same time Keith Haney overshoots his pit stall. I imagine we see Travis Wall coming out first. Travis Wall will beat Keith Haney, and does Eric Barilli beat Keith Haney off pit road? Dean Viney did elect to stay out. And I am showing Travis Wall second, Eric Barilli third, Keith Haney fourth, and coming way back up from 9th up to 5th, Joe Mitchell. Wow, a 13.32 pit stop. His pit crew deserves a raise tonight. Dean Viney elects to stay out tonight. He will collect that bonus point, which should lock him mathematically into the chase tonight. And Al, we were checking out the points earlier. Keith Haney is 3 points back from making the chase.
Kind of surprising over the last few weeks. He's had some good runs, Steve, but just hasn't been able to put the finishes together. So hopefully tonight he'll have a good run and be able to put something together.
Pace car lights have gone out. Keith Haney to that outside row behind Travis Wall. While sitting fourth, Dean Viney is your leader. Second is Travis Wall. Third, Eric Barilli. Fourth, Keith Haney. And rounding out your top 5 at the moment, Joe Mitchell. And then you have Chris Garoso, Brad Hicks, Jim Locking, Justin McDuff, Ronald Etheridge, your top 10. The pace car will come off turn 4 and will be getting ready to dip into pit road. There goes the pace car. Dean Viney will bring him to the line. Will he beat Travis Wall to the line to get his lap led? He did have one lap led under caution. Green flag is out. They're on the loud pedal. Does Dean Viney? He will beat him to the line. But how long can Dean Viney hold on, because he has got 9 lap old tires compared to those fresh ones on the outside line there. And 21's got Keith Haney right down his back trying to get around him. They're going 3 wide in turn number 2. And now the 71 of Dean Viney getting passed up by Travis Wall and Keith Haney on that outside line. And Eric Barilli now stuck behind the 71. He's trying to make his way around. He's almost going to have to go 3 wide to try to make the pass. They are going 3 wide on the front stretch. And it does look like Joe Mitchell's going to start to back out. And Barilli does have a little bit of a run on Dean as he's got. But Dean's got the lower line on him, so I imagine he will get the speed coming off. Barilli is actually going to hook up with Chris Garoso now, and they are going to blow by the 71 as he's going to drop back into the 6th position. Travis Wall now as he's battling with Keith Haney for the moment. And things are starting to thin out in the front. We're going to take a look back into that is the 9th or 8th position. You got a huge pack of cars back here. Jim Lockwood, Justin McDuff, Ron. We also have Lynn McKees, Adam Baker, Paul Cohen. You got basically half the field sitting right behind these guys. So there's not a lot of separation really throughout the whole field. And we're seeing 3 wide action on the front stretch with this pack here. And Al, I'm not sure if you heard today, but they did have the wrong setup in. So they are using the Daytona setup here at Auto Club.
They definitely threw the drivers for a little bit of a loop, as they probably not quite handling like the way it was when they were practicing. These drivers are making it work so far. If you look at this pack right now, we got the 84 of McNeese working the inside off of turn number 2 down the long back straightaway here at California.
You said that was the 87?
84 McNeese and the 48 Adam Baker working down the front stretch. Kind of the turn number 1, they're battling for that number 10 position as they go too wide through turns 1 and 2. Baker had to check up a little bit early to stay off of that Western Auto car number 84 of McNeese's. They look like they settle it out to being single file.
And you got the 51 of Paul Cohen trying to make that pass on that outside line now. And we are seeing those cars start to develop and be able to run that outside line and beat guys on the inside now.
You got that momentum. If you can keep the car to the inside, pinch down enough, you will really break their momentum. They won't be able to make the passes. It looks like Baker is able to get by McNeese. McNeese is going to tuck right back up onto the back bumper and pull to the inside. So the crossover move off turn number 2 is they're side by side once again in front of the number 91 of Jim Locking.
And we got a caution. And it is, I believe it's the 55 of James Haney. And no, it is the 31 of Michael Palmer. See if we can take a look to see what happened to Michael here as we have our second caution of the night.
It looked like he checked up. It looked like was the number 11 of Daniel Haney and the 35 of Bobby Jonas getting a little bit loose in the middle of 1 and 2. It looks like the 31 of Palmer checking up also, going for a little bit of a spin cycle through the grass, but then back out on the speedway. But it looks like no contact. So he should be able to carry on with his Bass Pro Shops number 31.
So no damage here on this second caution. And I imagine we see these guys bringing it down pit road again because I don't know about you, Al, but every time I run here, it seems like tires are a premium. Every time you can get them, you take them.
Definitely. I think if you're mirrored back in traffic, you can stay out and hope for a quick yellow. But you're definitely going to want 4 Goodyear Eagle racing tires on these Lazy Day Racing Xfinity cars here, as Keith Haney's going to lead the train down pit road.
And as they take their pit stops, we're going to step away really quick for a commercial break, and we'll be back to Green Flag Racing here at Auto Club Speedway. All right, and we are back, and it does look like Keith Haney will come out in front for the second caution tonight. He didn't miss his pit stall that time. He does run a little bit slower of a pit stop time than Travis Wall. But let's see who ran the fastest pit stop time out there. And I am showing, I'm not sure if these are accurate or these guys didn't take tires, or actually let's just go to the front. Chris Garoso, sitting in third, ran that 14.1. That seems to be our fastest pit stop time of everybody who took 4 tires.
Yeah, everybody on my end of pit road, Steve took 4 tires to the race leader in that Ford Mustang 87 of Keith Haney, taking 4 tires along with Travis Wall. Grosso with a very good pit stop. I thought he was going to beat Wall off of pit road, just lost it by half a car. So his pit crew definitely working it as they get ready to see. As tonight, we will lock in the drivers for the chase.
And looking at the driver's roster right now, Sean Lejeune has retired his car for the night and taken it behind the wall. James Haney still on pit road, has yet to come off. He is 11 laps down. Daniel Haney, now on pit road, did get a little bit of damage from that from the caution, but I didn't think it was enough to keep him on pit road. And now he is coming off, so he will stay on the lead lap.
It's nice about here at California is you got lots of time to get the repairs made, so that way the crews can get it done right. That way you can stay competitive. So Daniel Haney taking a little bit extra time to fix that right front fender. I think he'll be I think he'll be happy with the repairs on that number 11.
Now, we talked about this a little bit before the broadcast, before we went green flag racing here. Keith Haney is, I believe, 3 points back from 12th. So win tonight would basically put him in that driver's spot or the driver's seat for the chase next week.
Yeah, a lot of guys right now, the guys above the cut line that felt like they were pretty safe, it's all about staying out of trouble and having a solid night. The drivers that were on the bubble, well, they got to make something happen tonight, Steve, and I think we're going to see a little bit as we get closer. We got just a little over 100 laps left to go here in the Auto Club 120. So the pace car lights are out as they work off of turn number 2, but these guys are going to get up on the wheel when it gets ready to go time. I say around lap 25, lap 20 is when you're going to see the desperate measures come out for these guys that are going to try to make the Lazy Dayz Xfinity Series chase. And it'll be definitely a good, hard racing. As we've seen earlier, I think everybody right now is just kind of riding it out and making sure that they're there at the end.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, Lynn McNeese is also 1 point back from making that chase. So I would imagine we see Lynn try to make a push towards the front. He is currently sitting... Where is he sitting in the field? He's sitting in 11th right now, but we're about to get back to green flag racing. Why don't you get us started here, Al?
All right, drivers are swerving it back and forth. It'll be Keith Haney and Travis Walls starting on the front row. Pace car ducks on off as we get ready to go with this restart. Everybody jumbles up there on the loud pedal. We're back underway here at California. Good start by the number 87, but here comes Wall on the outside. He's getting a push by the number 54 of Mitchell. Mitchell giving him a good push, but Haney back out front as they work off turn number 2.
Wow, I was surprised to see Keith Haney get out front as much as he did there. We haven't seen Keith Haney really clear Travis Wall for a lot of this race. They've been side by side most of it.
First two cars are single file, but here comes Wall. Wall's going to take a peek outside, but we got a wreck. It looks possibly the number 17 of Rob Whittemore going around as his Pepsi can is a little bit crunched up on the front and leaking the yummy Pepsi all over the racetrack as smoke billows from behind the number 17.
And I'll have to apologize right here. We just lost our overlay when that caution came out. So we're going to get that set up really quick here. There we go. All right, now who was it that wrecked? We'll take a look to see what happened as we had our third caution of the night.
That was the number 17 of Rob Whittemore as he went down in the turn number 3 on lap number 20. It looks like he just started to go around on him. He overcorrects it and head on to the outside retaining wall, the safer barrier here at the California Speedway, and was able to drive his number 17 Pepsi sponsored car back to pit road, but heavy damage on the number 17 of Rob Whittemore.
All right, we just saw what happened to him there, and he is sitting on pit road. All right, well, Keith Haney up front for the moment. You know what, Al? Let's try to get an interview in here. Who would you like to talk to tonight?
Well, I think we could talk to the driver that's sitting there in the number 4 spot, Joe Mitchell. He had a great restart there, gave the number 21 of Wall a heck of a push. Let's talk to him real quick if we can, Steve.
Let me see if we can find him in TeamSpeak. There he is. Let's pull him up in the booth.
Hey, Joe, this is Al up at the Max Speed TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, that last restart, it looked like you gave the number 21 of Wall a good push. How's the setup compared to the actual California setup? I was told that the wrong setup got put in the car. Is that changing how aggressive you can attack these restarts?
Yeah, it does. It seems quite a bit looser, especially on entry. I think you really have to be a little more conservative as far as your throttle inputs go coming into the corner. If you drive in too hard, then you're going to end up in the wall coming out of 2 and 4.
It's been an interesting race so far. The last yellow there was exactly what you were just talking about. Someone just, Rob Whittemore, just kind of lost it getting into turn 3. How much of an eggshell are you guys walking on, and does it get better as the run goes on when the tires heat up?
It seems like it does get a little better. We haven't really had a really long run yet. I'd like to see what it feels like after 25 laps or so. But as far as I could tell, after about 5 or 6, it does change. I feel you got to let off a little more on entry, and it really helps stable the car through the corner.
Well, you come into tonight's last race before the chase 3 points ahead of the cut line, doing everything that you need to do right now to make sure you solidify yourself a spot in that chase. What's it going to take to stay up front?
Hopefully just try to run my own race, stay out of trouble here. I feel like just a solid top 10 would get me locked in, so try to stay out of any trouble here today.
All right. Well, good luck with you. We'll let you get back as the lights are still on the pace car, but good luck and have a good race.
All right. Thank you.
That was Joe Mitchell, who started 3rd tonight, now sitting in 4th.
So you heard him there, Steve, trying to do everything he can about the chase. Only 3 points above the cut line tonight, is the cut line is held by Daniel Haney, which we've noted his troubles early in this race, running back deeper in the field. So Daniel's running 23rd right now on the grid or in the field. So it's a lot of spots to give up, and I imagine he's working his way up through the field. But you heard Joe there. He's wants us to stay on the side of the top 10. The setup's not quite to the liking of the competitors, but I think it's only going to play out, as he said. Hopefully we get a long run, see what this setup will do for them.
And just to give you an update, one of those other bubble drivers was sitting in 13th, David Howard Jr. He's currently scored as 26th.
So not having the night that he was looking for, but it's a long ways to go. Last car on the lead lap, so long ways to go still, as we're just under 100 laps to about 95 laps to go here at the California 120 at Auto Club Speedway. The lights are out on the Ford Mustang pace car, and it's all Ford front row. Keith Haney and Travis Wall up front, followed by a Chevy Camaro, the 42 of Grasso, and Joe Mitchell in the Toyota. So all 3 makes right up inside the top 4. Who you got your eyes on, Steve, on this restart?
I'd like to see if Travis Wall can get that push on that outside line. He's been, all of his restarts tonight have been on that outside line, and it seems like he's been able to do just enough to stay right behind Keith.
Oh, we get ready to go. The Ford Mustang makes the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. One more restart. Green flag clenched in the right hand as it is out, and we're back underway. Wall and Haney side by side. Mitchell getting right to the back bumper. That number 21 of Wall giving him a push. down in the turn number 1. Haney's got a little bit of a gap, but he'll show it away in the turn number 1. Nose to tail now. Mitchell will drop it down low into your number 3 spot. He's going to take it downstairs on the 21 of Wall. Wall swings it up high, wide, and handsome, but here they come roaring down the backstretch.
And look at that. Joe Mitchell up into that second position. Travis Wall stuck on the outside. We talked about him, or I thought he would try to get down as early as he could. And now Chris Caruso looking to go 3 wide. And it does look like he's going to dip out of that and bring it to the top line. As now he's got Eric Barilli down there. Or he is going to bring it back down to the bottom line now. So these guys are definitely trying to find where they can run. And they're going to go 3 wide up front.
There we got Wall in the middle, Mitchell and Haney. And Mitchell getting a push by the number 42 of Grosso. But it's going to be Mitchell and Wall side by side, but get that Piggly Wiggly number 21, the race lead off turn number 4. Using the high side, the momentum with this Daytona. Oh, into the wall. We've got him 3 wide down the front stretch. Travis Wall touched the wall. He's going to hold on to the lead lap number 26. We're working lap 27, 3 wide down in the turn number 1.
Oh, Keith Haney's loose. Keith Haney spinning into turn number 1. He's going to hit the outside wall.
Oh, big wreck off of the corner. Oh, a big hard hit. Looks like Keith Haney just getting loose. Wow, I can't even. The 35 of Bobby Jonas, another driver on the out, was just on the cut, inside the cut line. Involved with that one as he's dog tracking a lot of chase competitors caught up in the big one off of turn number 2.
3 wide up front, and it turns into an accident. And Keith Haney, who was on the bubble, needed 3 points tonight to get into the chase. Puts it right up into the wall, just like we were talking to Joe Mitchell about.
Yeah, this looks like the wall on the outside of the 87 Haney. Don't know if it just pulled the air off the rear spoiler. He just kind of gets a little bit of a twitch, and just up the track he went, and then around she went when she got out of the dark stuff. He made overcorrected and hard contact with the outside wall, and then it was the 91 of Locking that made hard contact with the left rear of the 87 of Haney.
Yeah, and we're actually going to take a look at that from the inside of Jim Locking's car, because you can see as Keith Haney starts to snap loose, he kind of slows up, thinking, okay, I'll just slow it down. He's up in the wall, and he comes down and has nowhere to go.
Yeah, tough break for the number 91, the South Point Chevy Camaro of Jim Locking. Is hard contact there. Bobby Jonas, it looks like he spun, didn't really hit anything, so he might be all right to continue on, Steve.
So one car stays out. Adam Baker has elected to stay out, and the rest of them are bringing it down pit road. Jim Locking has retired. Looks like either Paul Zoda has blinked out or has retired as well. And I'm not showing Joe Owen on the track anymore, or Bobby Jonas. We've got a couple cars blinking in and out.
That's right, Bobby Jonas on pit road. Right side's on it, left side's going on it now. And his number 35, the green machine, and he's going to pull away. So Bobby Jonas just coming off a pit road, Steve. Kind of had one of those change my underwear moments off of the corner there with the big one. But he seems to be okay as he's rolling off the pit road. Tough break for the number 87, the Keith Haney.
Yeah, we saw Keith running the fastest laps during practice. Had one of the fastest, I think he had the fastest lap during qualifying. So to see him go down this early in the race has got to be heartbreaking.
And Haney was doing everything that he had to do, Steve, and was running where he needed to, as he was about 2 spots out of the chase. And with this damage, it's going to be tough for him to make it inside the Lazy Day Racing Xfinity Series chase that starts next week. A lot of guys trying to aim for that 12th place, and tough road ahead for some of these drivers that are put back deep in the field.
And let's get a word in with our race leader at the moment, Adam Baker. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth here really quick. And is he in TeamSpeak tonight? He is. Adam Baker, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, you elected to stay out there tonight. How was the car out there? You guys are using the Daytona setup, I believe?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I know some people were complaining it was pretty loose, and the only place I've felt it get loose at all is on entry, but pretty comfortable overall.
All right, now have you been experiencing any of that looseness going into? I believe it was we were being told it was 2 and 4 where the biggest issue was.
I haven't had any problems with being loose other than going into turn 1. Everywhere else, I feel like the setup is really actually pretty tight, but it's pretty comfortable. I ran about 25-30 practice laps and got a pretty good handle on it.
Now, you did stay out on this pit stop. Was it just because you thought maybe there'll be another one here shortly?
Yeah, I'm predicting there'll be another caution pretty soon. Hopefully it's not me. But I was running my fastest laps 3 or 4 laps into a run, so we only ran a few laps there, so I figured I'd stay out and give it a shot and see what a couple Apple tires do for me.
All right, well, good luck to you the rest of the race tonight. You did start back in 24th. You're up front now, 3 laps led, so good luck to you, and hopefully we're going to talk to you later on tonight.
Thank you.
That's pretty impressive, from 24th up to 1st.
Yeah, Baker's one of those drivers that obviously he's got a plan, Steve, as we just heard, and he's going to take and try to put it to work here, but I don't know how these 4 tires versus his older 4 tires. I mean, we've only ran about 5-6 laps since the last yellow, so not too many laps of heat cycle. Like you said, he likes how it feels on older tires, and with a setup that's a little bit unpredictable, I'd rather be comfortable than have fresh tires.
All right, now our top 5 as they sit at the moment: Adam Baker, Travis Wall, Chris Caruso, Joe Mitchell, Ivan Jones. Why don't you get him going, Al?
Alright, the Ford Mustang going to make another trip down pit road. It'll be Baker and Wall, Grosso, Mitchell, Barilli, and Jones, your top 6 as they get ready to go. Pace car is off the speedway. Baker's going to have to go on the green, but watch that outside line as Wall and Mitchell have been really good. His green flag is out, and it's going to be Mitchell showing away, but we got a little bumper tag down the front stretch. 21 of Wall getting a push by that number 54 Toyota Care of Joe Mitchell all over the back bumper as they head down to the turn 1. Now they separate to give the lead to Wall. Here comes Baker fighting back on the inside, and now Lowe's number 48 off of turn number 2, but it's all Wall as they run double file 2x2 down the back stretch.
And it looked like Chris Grosso thought about going 3 wide and backed out of the last moment. Travis Wall did get that restart lap led, but he did steal one away from Adam Baker. So Adam's now trying to just fight and keep that thing up front now.
Yeah, Wall, we got trouble behind him. It looks like it was the number 21, possibly.
21 is Travis Wall.
Not Travis Wall, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I think it was the 71 of Dean Vinny as yellow is out. I just saw at the top of the speedway as they come off of turn number 4. And the yellow is out once again. So Baker will fall back to the number 2 spot behind Mitchell and Grosso. Be interesting to see if Wall picks that outside or the inside on this next restart, Steve.
And we're trying to find what happened to Dean Viney here. Oh, and he had the, not sure what car that was.
It looked like it was the 60 of Ronald Etheridge, I believe is how you say his name. Looks like he just got a little bit loose off of turn 4, and right down across and into the door panel of the 71 of Vinny, and that was all she wrote. Vinny getting the more of the worst of that one as he spun it down through the grass. So a little bit of contact off turn number 4. And Etheridge is able to keep it straight as he's kind of spun it on the exit of the tri-oval. But yellow out once again for a 2-car incident off turn number 4.
All right. So this will be our, I believe it's our 6th caution of the night, or our 7th. Not sure off the top of my head which one it is, because we had our counter kind of messed up when we lost the overlay there for a moment. But we're going to go ahead and step away really quick for a commercial break while these guys head to pit road. All right, and we are back, and I believe we have Adam Baker back up front.
Yeah, the mixed queues on pit road there is we have probably a good handful of cars not come down pit road, 10-12 cars staying out. And the first car with tires is the 21 of Travis Wall. Interested to see how they cycle out. By the count of my eye, have them about 11th or 12th right now, Steve. That's where the fresh tires are going to be. So it's interesting. You got some drivers that stayed out, not a lot of laps on their tire. Well, not even a lap really on their tires before that yellow. So interesting strategy. Maybe playing a little bit of fuel strategy right now.
I'm looking at the top 5 right now. You have Adam Baker, who started 24th up front. Ivan Jones, who started 25th and 2nd. Lynn McNeese fighting to get into that chase. Started 21st, now in 3rd. Justin McDuff started 10th, now up to 4th. And Paul Zota started dead last, now in 5th.
Yeah, one driver that was on the cut line, Bobby Jonas, out of Florida, he has taken it behind the wall tonight. So not quite sure what was going on with the 35 of Jonas, but his night has ended prematurely and not looking good to make the Lazy Day Xfinity chase here tonight, Steve. So tough break for that number 35 team.
And we haven't quite got the one to go yet. And let's see, our top 10 right now, we went through our top 5. In 6th, the points leader, Brad Hicks. In 7th, Paul Cohen. 8th is John Estes. 9th, Michael Palmer. And 10th is Travis Wall. So Travis Wall was the first car to take a pit stop there. And we still have 22 cars on that lead lap.
And the first car that's left in session is Ryan Gamel. He's 2 laps down, but he had hard contact that last yellow. Not quite sure how up to speed his car is, but sitting 11th is Thomas Keene. Chris Grosso, who was up front earlier, he sits there in your number 12 spot. 13th is Joe Mitchell. Eric Barilli is 14th in car number 14. 15th is David Gainforth. Joe Owen is 16th. Bob Skinner 17th. Daniel Haney 18th. Jay Dubuque is 19th, and Ronald Etheridge, who we just saw in trouble in that last yellow, sits 20th. 21st is Dean Binney and David Howard Jr., your 22 cars on the lead lap as they double them up as we going to see an exciting restart here, Steve.
Yeah, and it should be with a lot of cars out there not taking tires. It'll be interesting to see where these guys round out as we go back to green flag racing.
Yeah, we got 9 guys that stayed out. Your first card, keep an eye on him, is that blue and white Piggly Wiggly, car number 21. He's the first driver with 4 tires. So he's going to restart on the outside of row number 5 on this restart. But how about your top 4? Adam Baker, sitting there. He's going to lead them on the green. Ivan Jones, Glenn McNeese, Justin McDeath, and the number 99, Paul Zoda, rounding out your top 5. So as we get ready to go green here off of turn number 4.
And there goes the pace car. Adam Baker will bring him to the line this time. And with, look at that, Ivan Jones in the Max Speed TV3 car. Green flag is out, and we're back to racing here at Auto Club. And Adam Baker will beat Ivan Jones to the line. But he's got the 84 of Lynn McNeese barreling down his back. And we got a whole bunch of guys pushing here as Paul Zoda out there trying to get some laps. And how long does Travis Wall wait before he tries to move towards the front?
I don't think he waits very long as he's back there working. But we got side-by-side for your number 2, Jones and McNeese side-by-side, and Zoda and McDuff back there for your 5th spot. Here comes Hicks. He's going to take a peek underneath the Fox Ford Mustang of Justin McDuff as they work off of turn number 4. As the top 3 now have squirted out to a single file line as Zoda and McDuff battle back there for 4th. So everybody may be settling in now, Steve, as they work off of turn number 2. As I say that, Jones takes a peek to the inside of McNeese down the backstretch, but he'll tuck it back in line in the turn number 3. So your race leader, Adam Baker, he's got about a 2-car length advantage over McNeese. Then we got Jones. McDuff has taken sole possession of that number 4 spot. Zoda under fire by Cohen for your number 5 spot back there along with Hicks. Here come those fresh tires, Steve. It is the 21 of Wall. He's working underneath the 51 of Cohen. He's on the back bumper of the 86 of Hicks as Zoda holds off in your number 5 spot. As that was close between the Hicks and Cohen down the front stretch.
And you could definitely tell those new tires are starting to dominate the race right now. Travis Wall is looking to pass Paul Zoda now and get into the top 5.
Wondering how much he's tiptoeing as now he's going to take it right down to the white line down the backstretch. There is no out of bounds here at Auto Club Speedway like there was last week at last night at Daytona. But these drivers are working as Hicks has gotten around for 5th. Now here comes Wall battling for your number 6 position.
And look at that, right behind him you have Joe Mitchell coming on the pit road. We have a car. It is the 55 of James Haney, who is 34 laps down. So back to the action though. Travis Wall now trying to get around the 86 of Brad Hicks.
That's your only side-by-side battle, but up inside the top 4, McDuff has caught the back bumper of McNeese. We'll stay here with side-by-side is Grosso. Now taking a look on the inside of the 21 of Wall. Is there side-by-side down in the turn number 1? One car out of shape, it's the 51 of Cohen. He gets a little bit loose. Big wreck off as the Owen is going to get involved. 3 cars involved as Cohen upside down. As his car comes to a rest off turn 4.
And that was actually Paul Cohen upside down.
Yeah, he went for a ride as his car is dog tracking it. Rear end or trailing arms broken on the back of that SpaceX number 51. Tough break for Paul Cohen as he was inside the top 10 at the time of the accident.
Oh, and he just snapped loose going into 3. Tries to get it back on the track, snaps loose on him again, and then he flings up the track, gets T-boned by the 24 of Joe Owens. 82 of Bob Skinner also hits him, and he goes for a ride. Yeah,
Wrong time. Oh, go ahead, Steve. Sorry about that.
I don't know if you were watching the 51 of Paul Cohen. He is driving that thing sideways right now.
Yeah, his trailing arms are all broken in the back of that car. It's going to need some extensive repairs on pit road as it looks like all the leaders are coming down pit road this time.
We're trying to get an in-car view. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here. We had an in-car view, and it seems to be gone now. Yep, we see it now. He's got that wheel turned all the way to the right. Or all the way to the left. We're going to try to find where this... What happened to our camera here?
Well, I can tell you Adam Baker wins the race off of pit road, Steve. Yeah, won it in good time. Is plenty of distance between him and the second place car to come out, which I believe was McNeese, so he'll be in your number 2 spot when we go back. Green flag as long as no one stayed out.
Ivan Jones and John Estes did stay out.
Yeah, that's gonna throw a monkey wrench into the number 55 of James Haney, who was looking for that wave around. But with Jones staying out, he's gonna have to go to the end of the longest line for being down 1 lap unless he pits. So we had 2 cars up front on old tires. What's your prediction, Steve?
I don't know how long these guys will be able to hold on tonight, staying out there, as we've seen a lot of trouble really coming from those guys that have stayed out. They've gotten a lap or 2, and then they just drop off really bad.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed at that wall, and the guys with fresher tires really didn't get up there as far as I thought they were going to on those fresh tires, but they also had to go through 9 cars, so maybe that has something to do with it. And taking their time is, you know, we're working right now lap 45 of 120. So, but first 2 cars will have old tires, then we got fresh tires behind them. I think the fresh tires will make quick work of Ivan Jones and the number 72 of John Estes.
But if we do have another quick caution, you got to imagine those guys will immediately be dipping to pit road.
Yeah, I would think so also, unless they're trying to play the fuel strategy. As right now, John Estes looks like he's trying to conserve a little bit of fuel with his NBC-sponsored number 72 Ford Mustang, excuse me. Because he hasn't kind of gases up and then he just coasts. So I think maybe a little bit of fuel strategy starting to come into these guys' mind.
We should be getting the 1 to go here, and it's going to be interesting to see if that front row holds up the rest of the field. Adam Baker did dip to pit road, so he got fresh tires, and it looks like everybody behind him does have fresh tires as well. So I imagine either we'll see these guys, will that front row check up the rest of the field and cause an accident?
Depends if they spin their tires or not. I think part of the issue with that wreck off of turn number 4 with Cohen, excuse me, was I think that the grass on the tires, he started to get back in the grass or in the gas, and the tires were just really dirty, and around she went for him. I feel bad for the Owen in the number 24 car as he's taking his car behind the wall. I'm getting ahead of myself tonight, Steve. Having a Darrell Waltrip moment, I think.
All right, now we are getting ready to go back. Ivan Jones, John Estes, Adam Baker, Lynn McNeese, Joe Mitchell, your top 5. And behind them you have Travis Wall, Justin McDuff, Brad Hicks, Chris Garoso, Eric Barilli. And that is your top 10. All those guys have been fighting at the front near at some point in this race tonight.
If you look at all their cars, for the most part, none of them have any damage. Staying clean, trying to stay in the green, and trying to make it into the Lazy Day Racing Xfinity Chase is the name of the game here today at Auto Club Speedway. The drivers were throwing a little bit of a monkey wrench with the Daytona setup left in the cars, but here we go. We're going to hit the gas pedal off of turn number 4. Green flag is out, and Jones is going to get a car length on this restart.
What a jump by Jones.
It almost looked like John Estes was trying to lag back just enough to get a run on him, but that's going to backfire. He's going to be lucky to hold on to 5th as McNeese is going to work underneath him, and he pulls right down in front of the wall. Side-by-side battle back there for your number 3 spot. Mitchell and McNeese side-by-side. Here comes McDuff and Grosso around the 72 of Estes as McDuff will hold on to your number 5 spot.
When is Travis Wall trying to make his move to get back to the front? 48 laps down. Ivan Jones now with 5 laps led.
He's doing quite well on those older tires, but here comes Baker. Baker with a run off of turn number 2. He'll pull up to the back deck lid of the 52 of Jones as Baker's going to take a peek to the inside in the turn number 3.
And you see him keep peeking down there. He's trying to get to the inside of him. Surprisingly, those tires are holding on for Ivan Jones, though.
Yeah, Jones doing a really nice job with the max speed 52. But here comes Baker. Just as I say that, he'll pull alongside down the backstretch. Baker with a run off of turn number 2. He's door by door down in the turn number 3. Baker's going to put the nose of the Lowe's Chevrolet out front. But here comes Jones back on the outside with the momentum. We'll see if Baker can clear him. Here comes Joe Mitchell. Mitchell's going to challenge for your number 2 spot as they're side-by-side. For that spot as Mitchell tucks it way down on the inside as Baker will swing down to block the momentum. Action all over this speedway as here comes Mitchell. Mitchell's got a run on Baker off turn number 2. The 54 Toyota carriage going to put it out front, down the backstretch on the inside of the 48 of Baker, down to the turn number 3.
And back and
One
forth
car
they
going
go.
around the 84 of McNeese.
No caution.
No, he saved it. What a save. We can bookmark that and go back and look at that. He saved it somehow. I thought for sure that was going to end the night of Len McNeese as they're side-by-side for your race lead. Mitchell and Baker side-by-side off of turn number 2.
And there goes Mitchell up into the front. And now Baker back to that bottom line, trying to take it back from Mitchell. A lot of crossover by these guys.
Top 5, maybe make it the top 6 as they're side-by-side back there for your number 3 spot and for the race lead. You got action all over this Auto Club Speedway just as we predicted for tonight as it's all side-by-side action up front. Throw a blanket over the top 5.
And it looks like Travis Wall trying to push that thing to 3 wide for that 3rd spot. and he pushed it back. He put it back behind Ivan Jones for the moment. Chris Caruso up there battling with Ivan right now.
Jones doing a really nice job on those older tires as he's going to fall back to, looks like his 4th, 5th spot. Here comes McDuff. You don't look behind them now. The 14 of Barilli's coming. We'll have a 7-car battle for your race lead. So we got a 7-car breakaway up front as they work through turns 3 and 4 to put lap number 54 up on the board. They're side by side for 3rd as Wall and the 42 of Grosso hold on, are battling for your 3rd spot. Jones runs 5th. 6th is the 20 of McDuff, and Barilli rounding out the 7-car breakaway out front.
And I definitely would say this is what makes Auto Club run like a super speedway right now.
It's the super speedway setup in it, and these boys are running it just like they are at Daytona, as it's about a 2-second gap, a little over a 2-second gap back to your number 8th place runner, as Jones gets a little bit loose with McDuff tucked right up underneath them. That's the battle for your number 5 spot as Jones goes to the outside. Here comes McDuff, and Barilli's right there as well.
Yeah, we're getting a long run here, and we're starting to see those guys that stayed out on those older tires start to fall back.
The tires have come up to optimal tire pressure now for the guys with new tires as McDuff's going to swing it to the high side around Jones off of turn number 2. We'll see if he can make it stick. They're side by side back up front for 3rd. That's the 54 of Mitchell and the 42 of Grosso. So we got double file action up front here at Auto Club, Steve.
And look at that, Chris Caruso to the inside line, trying to make the pass on Joe Mitchell to get into that 3rd spot.
Oh yeah, meanwhile, up front, it's Wall on the outside of Baker off into the corner, trying to make it work, but Baker's going to hold on to your race lead. Down the backstretch, Wall is 2nd, Grosso is 3rd, Mitchell 4th, then it's a 3-car battle, 3 wide, down to the turn number 3. Barilli's going to wisely back out of it as they run side by side back there for your 5th spot. Jones putting on a heck of a battle with the number 20 of McDuff. McDuff in the outside fence once, twice now. He'll lose contact with that as Jones will hold on to your number 5 spot. So McDuff pushed a little bit too high. I don't think too much damage on that number 20, but he's falling back to your number 7 spot. For really 6, and Jones rounding out your top 5 is now the top 7 have kind of quietly gone to single file, but up front it is Wall tucked right up underneath that Lowe's deck lid of Adam Baker.
Adam Baker now with 20 laps led. I believe he does have the most laps led. Second most laps led is Travis Wall, who's currently sitting in 2nd.
You gotta wonder if Wall is just sitting back there tracking the 48, trying to figure out, all right, where am I better than Baker so I can make the move to stay out front. Seems like if you're out front, you're kind of a sitting duck with the way the draft is working here at Auto Club Speedway tonight, as Wall right all over the back bumper of that Lowe's Chevy. He'll take a peek off of turn number 4. Challenge for your race lead.
Doesn't quite get it as Adam Baker's going to drop it in front of him. They got lap traffic. Keith Haney coming up. Keith Haney's going to put that thing up to the top wall and let these guys pass him.
And it's got to be very painful for the 87 of Haney, as he was one of those guys up front early battling it and brought out a yellow earlier, as now it's a 3-car battle as Grosso's got to run on Wall.
And Adam Baker up the track. Travis Wall now taking the lead. And Chris Grosso is going to follow right behind him.
I bet that little mistake's going to cost Baker the lead. He'll fall back to your number 3 spot. As now Grosso's going to challenge the 21 of Wall. He'll tuck it back in line as the Piggly Wiggly 21 slams the door shut. Says not this time, Grosso, as Wall is going to hold on to lead lap number 60.
So halfway down, we've had a lot of lead changes actually tonight. We've had a lot of different leaders with the cautions, and we're starting to get that green flag feel here tonight.
We are as the top 3 are under blanket, and you got to go back about a half a second to your 4th place runner. That's Joe Mitchell. Eric Barilli's up to 5th. 6th is Ivan Jones. Justin McDuff runs 7th. Thomas Keene 8th. Brad Hicks is 9th, and rounding out your top 10, the number 99 of Paul Zoda. So the top, and those guys, the 10th place is almost 7 seconds behind your race leaders. These guys are setting a blistering pace around the Auto Club Speedway.
And it does look like Paul Zoda actually just gave up. No, he didn't. He is still back there battling with Brad Hicks. I thought Brad Hicks was back in 11th. But back up front, and Chris Grosso is not letting the 21 of Travis Wall get away from him.
Well, one car that I've been keeping an eye on since the green flag has come out, Steve, has been the number 25 of Thomas Keene. He restarted deep on that last restart. He's up to 8th. He's ran down the number 20 of Justin McDuff as Grosso takes a peek underneath the 21 of Wall for your race lead. Side by side down to the turn number 1. Grosso's going to have the nose out front, but here comes Wall. He's going to slam the door shut. Side by side about half a car length apart as they come off of turn number 2. Off of turn number 2, will Grosso have the pull down the backstretch as they're side by side. That's allowing Baker to get back into play as they're still side by side. Wall with a 3/4 length advantage.
Grosso will clear him. Grosso will be our race leader coming off the corner if he can hold on when they get to the start-finish line, and it does look like he will. So Chris Grosso will lead his first lap of the night, getting that 42 machine up there.
He's been patiently waiting to get through it, but here comes Wall right back to the outside. Lap traffic dead ahead for your race leader. As they're side by side, the car in front of them is the number 83 of Ryan Gamel. Gamel with a lot of front end damage. He's going to hold it up high and stay out of the way. Good driving by that driver just out there trying to hold on to a chase spot. These race leaders go flashing by. Grosso back out front, but here comes Wall. He's going to side draft them down the front stretch. Wall right there, that time a half a car length as Grosso will be credited with that race lead. And Baker's like, I'm just enjoying the show back here. Maybe they'll take each other out as they run side by side still up here for the front as we are working lap 65 of this 120 lap contest.
And look at that, Chris Grosso out is now out to 0.2 seconds, clipping 0.3 at times. Adam Baker will put it right behind Travis Wall, but Chris Grosso is up front leading some laps now. And Adam Baker is going to pass Travis Wall now. What happened to Travis Wall there?
Gotta wonder, did he use up his tires? Does he not like the transition with the fuel getting down in these cars? This is the longest green flag run of the night. So you gotta wonder, maybe he's just not liking the transition as the fuel burns off as Wall is back to your number 3 spot. But Grosso, since getting out front, he's opened up a half a second lead. Mitchell's going to drop it down low underneath the Wall as they work off of turn number 4. So Joe Mitchell starting to let his presence known. He's battling for your 3rd spot.
And right behind them, you have Eric Barilli starting to catch him. So this front 5 is really starting to bunch back up.
I don't know if you noticed as they flashed by, but the number 52 of Jones coming off of pit road, so that strategy of staying out didn't quite work So, but he's going to be on fresher tires. So if we can get through this pit cycle, he might be alright, make up enough time where he's going to fall in place. So it's going to be interesting now if we see green flag pit stop, Steve.
And I believe it has been roughly 30 laps, so I imagine we'll start seeing them. I can't remember exactly how many laps they have to run here for for their pit window, but I do know when NASCAR ran here in the spring, it was about 30 laps before those drivers were bringing it down pit road.
And remember, with the smaller fuel cells with the Daytona setup inside these cars, that window's not going to be quite as long either. So it's going to be interesting as Baker now holds seconds. Your top two are starting to pull away from the rest of the field, but back there, the battle for third is Barilli is now up to fourth, and he's pressuring Joe Mitchell. Wall back to fifth, fifth for Wall. So that car definitely fading as the longer this run goes on.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. We'll have to talk to Wall later on tonight because he was up front for a while there. And he was able to battle those guys and stick with them, and then they went to the front stretch, and it seemed like the top three just kind of blew by him.
He's got a little bit of damage behind the right front fender, so he may have gotten the outside wall. Kind of like Justin McDuff, who was challenging for fifth earlier. He's fallen back now to the 8th spot, and 7th spot, but he's being pressured by Brad Hicks, so a little bit of aero damage definitely hurting how these cars perform. As Barilli now all over the back bumper of Mitchell. That's the battle for third shaping up. As Wall's hitting pit road, the number 21 of Travis Wall on the pit road, running the 55-mile-an-hour pits road as he's going to bring the Piggly Wiggly car number 21, first of the leaders to come down pit road, Steve.
Yeah, and I think, those tires burned up on him, and he decided, it's time, let's bring it down. Ryan Gimmel also coming down pit road with him.
Yeah, definitely right front damage on the Piggly Wiggly car number 21 as he'll make the left hand, slide it into his pit stop, and overshoots his pit. That's going to be huge as he lost seconds there as the right sides go up on the 21 of Wall. It'd be interesting if he'd be able to come out in front of the race leaders.
It does look like he's going to repair some of that damage here.
There might only be a few seconds of damage on there, but it might be worth fixing now. But he's definitely going to lose a lap sitting there as your race leader of Chris Grosso working down the backstretch. Baker, your second place driver, the 48 of Adam Baker, he's peeling off the racetrack. He's going to dive it down to pit road. So pit strategy starting to play out, Steve, as the 48 of Lowe's, that's going to leave Chris Grosso out front over Eric Barilli and Brad Hicks. Joe Mitchell is fourth, and Paul Zode up to fifth now. Right side's going on, the number 48 of Adam Baker as the crew swings around to the left side. Left sides are up, filling it full of the Sunoco race fuel, and he is off. So Adam Baker pitting on lap 73 as he works down the long pit road, 55 miles an hour. Feels like you are crawling. As the 21 of Wall still in pit road, and then they've taken that car behind the wall. So Travis Wall out of the race tonight, Steve.
And that speed limit under green, you're wanting to push that thing as soon as you get out of your pit stall. And you got to remind yourself, I got to stay under the speed limit. Otherwise, I'm getting that black flag and sitting on pit road even longer.
So right now, Chris Grosso, he's holding onto your race lead. He's got a 3-second lead over Eric Barilli. Brad Hicks runs third, Joe Mitchell fourth, and Ronald Etheridge, as we remember earlier, he was involved in an early wreck. He is sitting fifth as green flag pit stops. Right now, all the guys that have short pitted, we have 12 cars on the lead lap as Ivan Jones just unlapped himself. So right now we want to see it stay green, or you're going to catch a lot of guys under one lap down traps.
And I'm not sure if Eric Borelli over there at Lazy Days Racing, I used to spot him back in the day. He liked to run that car dry a lot, take a chance, stay out, see if the caution comes out before you have to come down pit road. We are seeing Chris Caruso, one of his teammates, coming down pit road now. Does he like to bring it down now?
I see one car behind him. It looks like Borelli's coming down pit road as well. So your race leader on your top two on the pit road.
Brad Hicks now the race leader.
Yeah, as Hicks will stay out, is Joe Mitchell also on pit road. Gainforth's going to pull right out in front of your race leader of Grosso. Grosso hits his marks. Crew swings around to the right side. The car is up. 4 Goodyear Eagle tires going on the right side of the 42 of Grosso. So green flags will be interesting how things shake out. You wonder if Hicks is just wondering, maybe I'll catch that yellow, trap some of these guys down a lap. As I tell you, Barili made up some ground on the 42 of Chris Grosso. They'll come off the pit roads nose to tail. And Hicks is on pit road, so I think that'll complete our cycle. I don't see anybody that had any pit road penalties that time, so that's surprising, especially like you said, the pit road speed being so slow compared to what you're racing at.
And it does look like Ivan Jones will be your leader. So Ivan
Hicks
Jones,
is away.
Adam Baker, and Thomas Keene now up front. Has Thomas Keene pitted?
I don't believe so.
We'll check our event thing here on the overlay. See when he pitted. And I don't have... Oh, wait. He came down pit road on lap 71.
So another driver that short pit, so it'll work out to his advantage as we wait to see how everything's going to shake out. So Ivan Jones by short pit and Steve has a 2.5 second lead over the 48 of Adam Baker. Thomas Keene runs third. Justin McDuff made it out as he was outside the top 5. He sits fourth, and Chris Grosso is fifth, and Eric Borelli sixth. So the field really stretched out during those green flag pit stops.
I am seeing Ivan Jones start to lose some time to Adam Baker. So maybe that short pitting is starting to catch up to Ivan Jones now.
You're definitely going to gain some track position by pitting early, but you're out there longer on those fresh tires than these guys that pit later on. So but he's definitely lost a half a second that last lap to the 48 of Baker, who just came down pit road a lap or two ago. So it'll be interesting to see how quick that the 48 can chase down the 52 of Jones, and will we stay green?
And remember, these guys are going to have one more pit cycle if they do keep it green. Better yet, these guys that short pitted, are they going to have enough fuel to make it to the end on one more stop?
That'll definitely be an interesting question to see, as now Baker's cut off another half a second. So Adam Baker definitely quicker than your race later to 52 of Ivan Jones. But it'd all be for naught if we would catch a yellow, as the battle shaping up for your fifth spot, but really all over the back bumper of McDuff. And it looks like Barilli got by him for that 5th spot. So McDuff back to your number 6 spot. And right in front of those in your 4th spot would be the 42 of Chris Grosso. So those two guys came to pit road together. They're still running together. Separated by about 5 car lengths on the speedway, Steve.
Pretty impressive stat right here. You have Ivan Jones of Lazy Days Racing. You have the 42 of Chris Grosso of Lazy Days Racing. And the 14 of Eric Barilli of Lazy Days Racing. All up in the top 5 right now.
Definitely a good showing, and don't look now, but the 48 can see the 52 of Jones. So Jones, right in front of Adam Baker, is now about 5 car lengths separate them as they work down the backstretch. I think it'll be easy pickings for that Lowe's Chevrolet. We'll see if Jones can hold them off.
Yeah, and like we were mentioning earlier, that early pit stop is starting to catch up to Ivan Jones here, as he's going to try to dip it down in front of 48, but he's just got too much speed on that outside line, and he may just make it pass as they're going 3 wide with that lap traffic. They're going to come out of it, and he's going to try to pass him on the outside line.
Yeah, Jones trying to use Gamal for a pick, but it's not going to work. Baker to the outside. He's making time. He's going to try to cross him over, but Jones will leave out room to the outside. They work side by side, wheel to wheel, down in the turn number 3. Jones and Baker for your race lead. Closest battle on the speedway is for your race lead, but now put Baker out to the front. New race leader.
So now, do we see Ivan Jones now try to pull it back together, or does he bring it down pit road here in about 6 more laps on lap 90?
I think right now you kind of got to ride it out as the field kind of bunching back up. It's almost to the point where we saw yellows earlier with guys getting loose, but it's got that green feel to it, Steve. So I don't know how much you gain by short pitting with about 30 laps to go. It's a possibility, but I just don't see it working out.
Yeah, if we see one of those guys who short pitted stretch it to lap 95, maybe even lap 100, if they pit before these guys, I could see one of these short pitters coming away with the win tonight.
Definitely could happen. And right now, if Baker can stretches out, he puts a half a second, almost a second lead over the 52 of Jones. He can start, clutching it, start saving the fuel, stretching that fuel mileage. He might not have to hit pit road again.
Adam Baker out to a second lead. Thomas Keene still 4.5 back in third, though. So lap 86, let's go ahead and take a look through the field really quick, see where everybody is at. Adam Baker started in 24th, now up to first, has led 26 laps tonight. Ivan Jones started 25th in the same row as Adam Baker and is now sitting in second with 12 laps led. Thomas Keene started 22nd, now up to third, has not led a lap yet tonight. Chris Grosso started in the top 5 and 5th, is now sitting in 4th with teammate Eric Barilli back there in 5th. Chris Grosso did leave 12 laps earlier tonight. Eric Barilli started 7th, now in 5th. Justin McDuff started in 10th, now in 6th. Joe Mitchell started in 3rd, is currently sitting in the 7th spot. Lynn McNeese started 21st tonight, currently sitting in 8th. Ronald Etheridge started in 12th, now in 10th as he gets passed up by Brad Hicks, who started in 8th, had led 2 laps, now in 9th. Ronald Etheridge has got that inside line on him, so it looks like for now Brad Hicks will move back into 10th. Paul Zota started dead last tonight, now up in 11th. Michael Palmer started 16th, now in 12th. Bob Skinner started 26th, now up into 13th. Dean Viney started 18th, now up to 14th with 2 laps led. David Gainforth started 13th tonight, now up to 15th. David Howard Jr. started 23rd, now sits in 16th. Daniel Haney still on the track, started 11th, now sits in 17th. Jay Dubuque started 19th, now up to 18th. John Estes started in 17th, has fallen back to 19th. Ryan Gimmel started 6th tonight, has taken a lot of damage as we see that front hood of that car is pushed in really bad, sits in 20th at the moment. Paul Cohen started 14th, now in 21st. Travis Wall, I believe, has retired. Keith Haney started first tonight on the pole, led 23 laps, now sits back in 23rd. James Haney started 29th, now up to 24th. And Joe Owen has retired, Bobby Jonas retired, Jim Locking, Rob Whitmore, Sean Lejeune, Jeff Glockner have all retired for the night. So I didn't even see, I guess when Travis Wall came down pit road, he decided to retire the car for the night.
Yeah, the crew said that knocked the tire rod off of the Piggly Wiggly 21, so Wall car done for the night. He's retired, so tough break for that team. One of the guys that was vying for a race win tonight, Steve, so tough luck down here in the 21 camp.
And I don't know if you're seeing this now, but we have Adam Baker out to a 3.5-second lead, and Thomas Keene has fallen back. He's actually back in 5th now.
Yeah, another one of those drivers that's short pitted. So Grosso and Barilli, they're about 2 seconds, or about a second behind the 52 of Jones. So that's going to end up going right back to your top 3. But when Grosso and Barilli caught the 25 of Keene did not put much of a fight up. Kind of just said, all right, guys, you're faster than me. Go on by. So heads up driving, I think, right now is I think he's looking at the big picture.
And we hit lap 91. We'll start to see when those short pitters decide to bring it down pit road.
Right now, Grosso in the 42, he looks underneath the 52 of Ivan Jones, and Jones going to give up your your number 2 spot, and here comes Barilli to the back bumper. So Jones is going to look like he's going to get deposited back into 4th, and we'll see now if Grosso and Barilli have anything to chase down Adam Baker, who's got a 4-second lead over 2nd place right now. He's on cruise control.
The question is, when do his tires burn up?
I kind of been watching him, and he hasn't really been pushing the car that hard. These guys that are coming up, Grosso and Barilli, have kind of been pushing it, trying to catch up because they know how much ground they lost to the number 48 of Baker. So they're trying to cut into that race lead, and they're kind of working together, just running a single file. Some laps Barilli's faster, some laps Grosso's faster, but they're all not really pushing the issue right now. As we worked about 27 laps to go in this contest.
Yeah, and this is the point in the race when a teammate up there with you helps you a ton. And actually, Ivan Jones now in 4th, so they've got those 3 Lazy Days drivers all by each other.
And that time they took a 10th off of your race leader's lead. So we'll see how much time they gain or give up this time by. I believe Baker was working through lap traffic. So 0.3 of a second at time. So Grosso and Barilli starting to cut in to Baker's lead. But is Baker saving fuel, or is his car giving up a little bit? But he's still got a little under 3.5 second lead as he works down the backstretch.
Now go ahead.
I was going to say Haney gets out of the way, and the 55 has let the leaders by down to the turn 3.
I was going to say, now from a driver's point of view, are you watching that relative here if you're Baker?
I'm definitely seeing, if I'm in Baker's situation, I got the relative, and I'm seeing, all right, these guys are there. That time they took 0.2 off, so at this rate, he can give up 1/10 to 2/10 a lap if he's saving fuel, and they won't get there in the amount of time that we have left. But once they get within a certain point, Yeah, I start getting a little bit worried and maybe start pushing the car a little bit. But definitely watching the relative, listening to the spotter, trying to find out where we're going.
We're going to see that time at points clip below the 3-second mark for Adam Baker. So that the two teammates back there definitely working, and they can see Adam Baker, and they can see how far ahead he is now.
Yeah, he's just easing on the throttle, so I think he's in fuel conservation mode. It might be close for the 48 of Baker, but I feel like these guys are going to have to pit one more time before the end of this race.
If you can save those tires, though, you will you'll have if you can save that fuel, you'll have the newer tires at the end of this race, and you got to know those tires are going to be king. And here comes Adam Baker.
Yeah, Baker coming right down as he's going to come down. I wonder if it'll be a splash and go or if he'll take. He follows the number 7 of David Howard Jr. down pit road, so it'll be interesting to see what the 48 does as he pulls into his pit box on the marks perfectly. Right side, so he is taking tires, Steve. Right sides are going up on the number 48. Keane and Mitchell also in along with McDuff, so a handful of your top teners on pit road as the 48 will pull out and pull down pit road. Hopefully nobody speeds. That's going to put Grosso and Barilli, who pitted about 5 laps after these guys did last time. So it'll be interesting to find out when they'll come down pit road.
As they are on lap 98, Chris Carosa leading his 14th lap. Eric Barilli's got to be fighting. He's got to be wanting a lap lead out there tonight.
And Baker had such a lead on him that he's not fighting him for the lead, but he's right in front of the leaders. So we did not lose a lap. But I think that's going to be a key point when we get looking into when these top two start to pit, as Baker did not lose a lap to him, as we got about 20 laps to go.
Barilli does go to that inside line.
So move there. Looks like the 42 Grosso just missed his entry point, or maybe he's going to jump behind him and save fuel, as that only leaves 8 cars on the lead lap right now, Steve.
Yeah, and these pit cycles, a lot of guys were saying, let's see how these cars handle on these long runs. They're now having their second green flag pit cycles. So this is that long run those guys were looking for tonight.
Yeah, when we talked to Mitchell earlier and we talked to Baker earlier, they weren't really sure what the car was going to do on a long run. So kind of interesting to find out what they're doing. Is right now is all green flag racing, but their top 2 run nose to tail. 2 teammates looking for a 1-2 finish.
And Brad Hicks is 11 seconds back from Eric Barilli at the moment. So, I mean, there's a huge gap between these two.
Yeah, we got the 84 McNeese on pit road right now, so he'll give up the number 3 spot to take his stop. Be interested to find. It sounds like the leaders are coming this time. Both leaders, Barilli and Grosso, making a hard left-hand turn off track on the pit road, get down to that 55 mile an hour speed limit, so they do not speed as they work down pit road.
And Brad Hicks will now be your leader as he passes them, who passes Eric and Chris. So he does get the lap led. 20 to go now for these guys here at Auto Club.
It is go time. It's going to be interesting to find out if these 4 extra laps are going to make a difference, or if they waited too long to pit after everybody else did. As right sides go up on both cars. Yellow is out. Yellow is out, so that's going to throw a wrench into it. These guys are going to be good on there. The pace car is going to pull out. Barilli's going to beat Grosso off pit road, but it's going to be interesting to find out how many cars that's going to put back on the lead lap and where they're going to shake out, Steve.
The only car I see being involved in that was Paul Zoda, but I'm not showing him as wrecking.
It looked like on lap 87 coming to 88, it looks like the 55 of Haney got in the outside wall and then got into the 99 of Paul Zoda, who was already 13 laps down at the time of the accident, and Paul just had nowhere to go. Heavy smoke pouring from the number 99. It looks like his night has come to an end prematurely.
And I would like to apologize for anybody who would like to see that wreck. We couldn't find it. I don't know what happened there. Brad Hicks, though, is up front. And, I think this actually helps Eric Barilli and Chris Caroso because they will not have to pit. And I believe we'll see everybody else coming down pit road.
Yeah, they were able to get out in front of the race leader along with the 20 of Justin McDuff. So when Hicks passes them,
Thomas Keane did pit on lap 96. It'll be interesting to see if he comes down. And it does, I don't know, he hasn't caught the field just yet.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if they can get the pit, if they can get Hicks' car pitted and out before the field comes through, if he'll hold on to your race lead. It looks like Jones, Keane, and Mitchell are all coming back to pit road.
So that is out the window, and you have to imagine this gives up the lead back to Eric and Chris Caroso if they get around, and it doesn't look like they'll quite get around. Or no, Eric really will be scored as the leader.
Yeah,
I think Chris got stuck behind Brad Hicks.
so I think right now, unofficially, by my count, I think Len McNeese is going to be your race leader. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to figure out when scoring updates where everybody stands, but this really...
Brad Hicks is the leader.
Brad Hicks is going to be the leader?
Yep, you have Eric Barilli and Chris Caroso in second and third, Adam Baker fourth, Dean Viney in fifth.
So, luckily the yellow comes out at the end of green flag pit stops. That could have really crossed over some people, Steve, that if they had yellow come out halfway through that pit cycle.
Yeah, and it came out at just the right time for these two, because, or for Eric Barilli and Chris Caroso, because, I mean, that, like I had said, in the past, I've known Eric to stay out and try to get as many laps in before he heads to the pits, and there was a time, I think it was at Homestead, I'm going to say it was Homestead, I was spotting for him, and, he just we kept checking the fuel, and he's like, I'm staying out, I'm staying out, I'm staying out. He had it down to 0.4 laps remaining left in that tank, and the caution came out.
That's playing it pretty close there. I don't like to get down that close unless it's less than a lap. Earlier this season in the Cup Series that runs on Thursday nights with Southern Motorsports, I ran out of fuel coming to the white flag at New Hampshire, Steve. And it was just a miscalculation on fuel by my part. And, the drivers are always a little bit more stubborn than the crew chiefs. My crew chief was yelling at me, put more fuel in it. I said, nah, this is enough. And it ended up biting me. So it'll be interesting to find out if these guys all have enough fuel to make it to the end.
17 to go. I sure hope they would have enough right now. I mean, they did. Everybody has really pitted through the field. I don't think we've had anybody stay out on this pit stop. Barilli and Grosso were coming off pit road when that caution came out, so they had pitted, and I believe everybody else behind them did pit as well. You have a couple of lap cars back here in front of them. They will be getting the wave around here shortly.
Yeah, that's where I was getting confused there. It looks like Len McNeese, Michael Palmer, David Howard, and Bob Skinner will all get the wave around. So Brad Hicks will be your race leader. Eric Barilli will be second. Grosso will be third. Baker, and then Vinny, the 71 of Vinny, He's been quiet all night, and one of the names we haven't said tonight, Steve, but he's going to restart in the 5th spot.
Yeah, he's definitely got a shot tonight to make a name for himself. He has been very consistent, actually, over here in Southern Motorsports in all of their series. It's just a matter of not getting wrapped up in those wrecks. He's gotten wrapped up in a lot of them, and he just manages to keep his cool out there and keep driving that thing and hoping for a better finish the week after.
And the lights are out on top of the Childhood Cancer Organization's Ford Mustang pace car. It's Brad Hicks. He's choosing the outside on this restart, Steve. So interesting call. I think that's the first time we've seen the leader choose the outside. Eric Barilli will start on the inside, but he's got his teammate of Grosso right there behind him. So wondering if Grosso will help push and get that Barilli, car number 14, out to the lead.
Get us started here, Al.
So the pace car takes a hard left-hand turn. Hicks and Barilli on the front row as the green comes out. We're back underway with this 24 laps to go. Hicks gets a good jump over Barilli. He's going to jump out to your race lead as the field side-by-side fanning constantly 3 wide down to turn number 1. Barilli with a run to the inside. He's at the left rear quarter panel. Here comes Barilli. Barilli and Hicks side by side, door panel to door panel, off of turn number 2.
And we do have 15 to go. Eric Barilli does have that. I'm not sure why Brad Hicks took that outside line. With, those fresher tires do work on that inside line for these guys.
Yeah, Barilli's going to jump out to your race lead. Here comes Grosso. He's going to swing to the outside there. 3 wide contact down the front side. They bounce off each other. There's our 3 wide down to turn number 3. Did you see that, Steve?
I'm surprised they kept it together there. And look at that, Adam Baker
going to hold on
to the
to
front.
it. One car around, the 84 of McNeese back in the pack, but we're 3 wide for your number 2 spot. But really, Baker and Grosso side by side as yellow comes out. I believe it was the 84 of McNeese getting loose off of turn number 2, possibly the reason for the yellow.
Let's go ahead and take a look back to see what caused that caution to come out.
That was the 84, the Western Auto, car number 84 of Len McNeese.
Flipping the, actually there was a car checked up in the middle of the track.
Yeah, it looked like he checked up, caught the apron off, and just ended up going around losing control, but able to keep it off everything. So I think Len's going to be all right and be able to continue on with this race. But a tough break for the 84 of Len McNeese.
What a battle up front, though. As they
I don't know about
3
you, but my
wide.
blood pressure's through the roof after watching them go 3 wide off the corner.
Oh yeah, they were bumping and banging coming onto the straightaway. You weren't sure who was going to survive that, and they actually all survived it.
Yeah, it was the middle car. I want to say it was Grosso. He kind of got stuck in the hornet's nest. Interesting to see if we have any takers. Looks like, no, I almost faked me out. I thought Keene was going to make it. Everybody's staying out. So, but yeah, Hicks and those guys doing a good job out front, but really doing a heck of a job keeping that car straight after contact and having cars bouncing all off of them.
And that is Daniel Haney, I believe, getting the wave around. Or, yeah, that was Daniel Haney getting the wave around. He will be back on the lead lap. So we'll have 16 cars on the lead lap when we go back to green flag racing here.
It'll be interesting to find out if we had a nice green flag run. And remember what I told you earlier, it is go time. So I think the level of giving and taking has gone out the window, as these drivers are all vying for that most important spot in the chase. But it's going to be interesting if we can all make it back to the checkered flag here as we work lap number 109 of this 120 lap contest.
And I wouldn't be at all surprised if we have another caution before the end of this thing.
I wouldn't bet against that if I was a betting man. I think the odds at Vegas of another yellow are 1 to 1, so not much of a gamble there. But it'll be interesting to find out where it is, because you saw how hard they were racing up front. Does it happen up front, Steve? Does it happen in the middle of the pack? Does it happen in the back of the pack? Nobody knows. You're going to have to stay tuned to Max Speed TV right here to find out.
I'm going to put my money on it's going to be right behind the front row. It'll be back in that 3rd to 6th or 7th positions. I think that's where we're going to have that wreck.
You think Hicks has enough to hold off the field behind them, Steve? He is our current points leader.
I don't know. I mean, those guys behind him have been pushing him pretty hard, and it looked like Eric, for a little while, had the better car out there until we had the 42 of Chris Garoso kind of get in the middle there and snap a little loose on him. What's your thoughts on that?
I think from just watching so far of the race, I think I'd rather be in 2nd or 3rd, where you get that draft and be able to get that run on them in the turn number 3. I think that's going to be the winning move. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but I think I'd rather be that 2nd or 3rd place car.
All right, well, we should double them up as we come to 10 to go. We should be back to green flag racing with 9 laps, and it's going to be a hard 9 laps for these guys.
It is. It'd be interesting to see if Hicks takes the outside again, or if he'll go to the inside, as he saw how good of a run Barilli had that last time, and that would break up the teammates. That would mean Barilli on the outside, and that would put Grosso on the inside, as it looks like Hicks is going to take the inside, splitting up the teammates. We have Baker in 4th. Ivan Jones, who led the race and used pit strategy, I think has really helped him out in this race. He'll restart 5th. Thomas Keane 6th. Joe Mitchell 7th. The number 20 of Justin McDuff is 8th. Gain 4th, 9th. And Ronald Etheridge is 10th. And if you remember earlier, that 60 went for a spin cycle through the grass, Steve.
Yeah, he did. And it's great to see him up here, and he's back on the lead lap. And he's been battling out there to get that position. Definitely earned a top 10 finish tonight if he can hold on. He's got a lot of good drivers around him, though.
He does. I think this is the first time his race control telling the drivers to tighten them up to get alongside. He doesn't like how Barilli's hanging back. So they want even rows of 2 going out to the drivers as you see them stacking them up. We get ready to go one more time. I don't think it's our last restart, but maybe it will be.
All right, well, let's see how they do here with 9. They'll be coming to 9 to go. Pace car coming around turn number 4. Should be dipping off at any moment now. And you got to wonder, is Eric is still kind of holding a car length back on Brad. See if he tightens it up here as the pace car has dipped in. Waiting for that green flag to come out. When does it come out? They're kind of starting to speed up a little. Green flag is out, and they're on that loud pedal. The 42 jumped out to the outside of the 86. I don't know if Brad maybe started a little late there. Kind of checked up that inside line.
Yeah, Grosso kind of spun the tires as there was 3 wide, possibly 4 wide. Mitchell and Jones side by side. Here comes McDuff on the outside as the 3 wide battle off of turn number 2. They'll even it back out to 2 even rows of side by side. But Hicks jumping out to your race lead. And here comes the number 48 of Baker. Baker swinging to the outside of the 14 of Barilli.
And we're now getting ready to come to 8 to go. And we've got a lot of battling going on here. Can anybody catch Brad Hicks here? Oh, we got one on the wall. That is Lynn McNeese into the wall. Michael Palmer also involved in that.
As we got big junk on the front stretch. Paul Cohen's car smoking. Also heavy contact in that one. Big accident on the front stretch as they were 4 wides. As it looks like it was a 31 of Michael Palmer and the 84 Len McNeese who first made contact. McNeese's car goes head onto the outside wall, and then it's on from there. The 51 of Cohen hits Palmer and pretty much will end the night. So those 3 drivers, tough break for the number 84 Len McNeese, who battled. He was just 1 spot outside the top 10 there, Steve.
I will look to see, was anybody else involved in that? Because I saw a couple guys going down in the grass. Oh, one other car did get damaged. Looks like he blew his engine.
Yeah, it looked like to be the 51 of Paul Cohen.
Yep,
Possibly.
it was the 51 of Paul Cohen. Well, he is
So,
on pit road. And
remember he was the guy that was dog tracking. He spent extensive time getting that car fixed. Come out and turn some laps. He's sitting in the 20th spot. I unfortunately think his night will come to an end as we only have a handful of laps left to go.
And I think we're going to go ahead and take a step away here really quick, play a quick commercial break before we get back to green flag racing. Coming near the end here, Brad Hicks is your leader. All right, and our top 5 right now. Let's actually take a look at that to see where these guys started. Brad Hicks started in 8th, now up to 1st. Adam Baker started in 24th. He's been up front all night long. Eric Burley started in 7th, now up to 3rd. Chris Garoso started 5th, now up to 4th. And Ivan Jones will join those 2 Lazy Days racing drivers up in the top 5. He started 25th, now sitting in the 5th position. That's going to make this restart really interesting to have 3 of those teammates all by each other in that top 5.
Yeah, it definitely, and it was interesting to see how much wheel spin the 42 of Chris Grosso had on that restart. Interesting to find out now we've had a few laps on these tires if anybody else will do the same thing.
And I don't know if you're seeing this, but I'm looking at Brad Hicks' car. He's got a little bit of damage from when he made contact with the 42.
Yeah, the left front fender is a little bit wrinkled up, so that's got to be hurting him. Baker was making the move on the outside when that yellow came out, so it'd be interesting to see if Hicks is able to hold him off. But you have Barilli, Grosso, Jones. I mean, you could really pick out a winner out of the whole top 10 right now.
So if we go back to green flag, I don't know if was it delayed. It seems like we've been under this caution for a while now.
And maybe extensive cleanup on the front stretch as we did have a few motors blow up. I think we might be able to go one to green this time by as we have 4 laps coming to 3 laps left to go. in this contest here at Auto Club Speedway. Some of these guys' races for the chase is on the line. Are they happy just to ride where they are, or do they want to get more?
I mean, you got to go for that win out here tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised to see another caution before the end of this thing, just because there's going to be so much pushing, so much fighting to get to that front here.
Yeah, you thought the last restart was intense. Wait till this one. As the Childhood Cancer Organization's pace car lights go out, we're gonna double them up. So one last restart as the 42 of Grosso has some right front damage from that contact when they were 3 and 4 wide there. Interesting to find out if that's gonna hurt his chances tonight. But as we get ready to go.
So Eric Burley will be back on that inside line right behind Brad Hicks, and he's got that teammate right behind him. He's got Chris Garoso kind of on that outside, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And once again, Brad Hicks electing to stay back down on the inside line. He probably learned his lesson after that first time of staying on the high side.
I was just gonna say I don't think you'll see him venture to the high side again unless he's forced up there. As he almost lost the race lead by starting up there when Barilli was starting second.
All right, why don't you get us started here?
All right, for hopefully the final time tonight, the Lazy Days Xfinity Series will take the green flag. The Ford Mustang pace car is going to make the hard left-hand turn. Baker and Hicks. Hicks is your race leader as the field jumbles up behind him. Green flag is out. They're back on it. Side by side, Baker with a good restart that time. Barilli going to take a look inside of Hicks. Or Barilli's going to have to block Jones as they're side by side back there for your number 2 spot. Side by side up front as if throw a blanket over the top 6 cars. They work off of the corner. Hicks with a good run. He's going to jump out to your race lead.
He's got Adam Baker, though, on that outside line, trying to make the run on him.
Baker, if you remember earlier, was able to make that outside work as he's hanging tough on the right rear quarter panel of Hicks as we've got contact all over this one. Keene trying to find a spot to run as Baker's going to lead that one, but really pushing the 86 of Hicks to the outside. Side by side back there for your number 2 spot. Baker is your race leader. Keene make contact. The 25 of Keene, he saves it somehow. He's going to lose a lot of positions as they race off of turn number 2. Hicks to the back bumper. Yellow
Caution
out
is
as the
out.
25. That's going to be your race. Adam Baker's going to be your race winner.
What a run out there tonight by Adam Baker.
So it looked like the 25 of Keene and the 71 of Vinny making contact. But it'll be Adam Baker picking up the win. Hicks and Barilli will be third. So Steve, how about that finish?
You know, it was pretty interesting to see Adam Baker once again be able to compete on that high line and get the win. We talked about it earlier. We saw him get to that high line and pass the leader at the time. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head. And that spin by Thomas Keene looked to initially be caused by netcode. But Adam Baker able to hold on that high line. And it's been pretty impressive to see him do that.
So as long as he can make it off of turn number 4 this time, your race winner will be the Lowe's Chevrolet of Adam Baker. So I think it would have been real interesting if we would have finished under green, Steve. But good race, Baker using strategy, and he earned that one tonight.
Yes, he did. And let's get straight into the interviews tonight. We got Eric Barilli Let's pull him into the booth here really quick. Is he in TeamSpeak? I do not see him in TeamSpeak at the moment. See if he flips over here. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, come back and see if he's made his way into TeamSpeak, and if so, we will get on with our interviews tonight. All right, and we are here with the third place finisher, Eric Bruley. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
All right, well, how was the car out there tonight, man?
You know, the Lazy Dayz Chevy Camaro unloaded really, really well. We did really good. We put up good times during practice, and then when we qualified, if I remember exactly, P6 or P7. And yeah, the car ran good all race. Got into a little bit of trouble on the early start. Got a little loose coming out of two and hit the wall and bent up the fender. So we took the night to repair it and stuff, but we finished pretty good.
Now, I've got to ask you, we did get word that they put the wrong setup in the cars tonight. You were running with a Daytona setup. How did that affect your run?
Surprisingly, I mean, the car had a little bit of jet lag, if you want to call it such, on the restarts and stuff because of the gearing. But I mean, overall, the car was stable. You know, we were able to bring the car down low to the first groove near a white line, and it held nice, and we were able to get out of the corner. The big thing was keeping up the momentum going through the corner. You know, obviously Daytona, it takes a lot longer to get the car wound up, and with Auto Club being smaller in size, you know, you just have to really keep the momentum going.
All right, well, next week is the start of the chase, and I do believe you have qualified for that chase. You head to Las Vegas. How are you at Las Vegas? Do you expect to be another great finish out there next week?
Yeah, Vegas is one of our better tracks, along with Auto Club here. You know, as long as we're able to stay out of the trouble and keep our noses clean, we should have a pretty good finish.
All right, well, you do start 7th tonight. You fell back to 15th at one point in the race. You did see the lead as well, had 2 laps led. You finished the race in 3rd, though. Anybody you'd like to give a shout-out to?
Yeah, first and foremost, I want to give a shout-out to Paul Zoda. He definitely runs a great series here and a great league. I want to give a shout-out to my spotter, Chris Grandel, did an awesome job. And, of course, a shout-out to all my teammates this evening. Ivan Jones, he did an awesome job. And Chris Grasso, he did an awesome job as well. And just definitely happy to be here.
All right, well, congrats once again on your 3rd place finish. We hope to see you next week at Las Vegas.
Thanks a lot, Steve.
All right, and we will head to our 2nd place finisher, Brad Hicks. We'll pull him up into the booth here in one moment.
And I've caught up with Brad Hicks, who is surveying the left front damage on that. Brad, what a finish. Walk us through those last few restarts in the last lap there that you guys were under green.
Well, that's pretty fun, man. I was grinning from ear to ear, man. I don't know what all was going on. I was watching, I was trying to get a run on Adam there. So they stay on side by side, letting him 3rd and 4th catch us, and caution came out, and I was getting ready to try something anyways.
But you definitely had a good night. You started 8th, end up 2nd. You were leading the points after the reset. It looks like you're going to be the number 2 seed headed into Las Vegas. But tonight was thrown a little bit of a curveball with the setup. How much did that play into the hands of some drivers, or did it play into yours?
I didn't know nothing about no setup. I just drove it. You know, the same for everybody. And it felt pretty good to me. I don't like a loose car, but I mean, it's pretty neutral in my eyes.
Well, you definitely had a good run tonight, finishing second. Looking forward to the chase next week. You guys head to Las Vegas. How is Las Vegas for you, and what are your expectations?
Las Vegas is pretty fun. I don't know, just take it how it goes and go on to the next one. I don't worry about points. I just go out there and do the best I can and go to the next one. Just have fun is all that matters.
All right, who makes it all possible? Who you want to thank tonight, Steve or Brad?
Paul, Lazy Days, and Steve, Max Speed, all you guys at broadcast, and everybody that races with us, man. It's just, I just like to have fun. That's all that matters.
All right, well, good run. That's your second place finisher, Brad Hicks. And I believe Steve is going to catch up with our winner tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. And it feels great. This is my second win in the series. Unfortunately, I'm going to be missing the chase. I think I am. I don't think I gained enough points today to make it in, but it was a great race, man. That was a ton of fun. I was like 24th in points, I think. Yeah, so I didn't actually do a qualifying lap. I wanted to start in the back and kind of take it easy for a little while. Gained a few spots in the first run, and I thought I'd play some pit strategy because I noticed the tire fall off wasn't too bad. I was running my fastest laps a few laps into the run, and I wasn't really falling off very much after that. So I figured I'd play some strategy. Ended up getting out in the lead there for quite a while, and the caution kind of fell at an inconvenient time on that second green flag stop, and I just knew I had to race my way back to the front, and it was a lot of fun. That was great racing side by side with those guys.
Now, we also ran, I believe it was roughly 60 or 70 laps under green flag conditions. How did the setup change throughout that run, that long green flag run?
The car was really comfortable for pretty much the entire run. It would get tighter, as the run went on. Your right front would wear out quite a bit, but the left sides didn't wear too bad, and the car was gripping on the bottom line pretty well. If you went to the outside line later in the run, it did not work at all. There was no grip up there, but early in a run, you could make it work, and that was really my only shot there on those final restarts because I was on the outside line both times, and I knew I was going to have to make it work, so I dove it in there in 3 and 4, and it wasn't so tight at that point that it wasn't gripping, but I wasn't sure if I was going to get a good enough run on Brad, but it worked out for me.
Now, I know you were saying you will you be here next week when they go to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be in the chase in this series. I'm still in the chase in the trucks and in the Cup Series, but I'm going to do as many races as I can for the rest of the season here. I missed a couple weeks early on, and I think that's the main reason I'm missing the chase. Just didn't get quite enough points in the rest of them. But yeah, I'll be here next week. It's at Vegas, I believe.
Yes, it's at Las Vegas. How are you out there? Do you expect to be out there and get a spoiler win, take a win away from some of these chase drivers trying to lock their spot into the next round?
I'd love to be able to do that. It's a 1.5 mile track, and those are my best tracks with these Xfinity cars. So I'll do my best. I've raced there a couple times in I believe the trucks and the Cup cars, and it was pretty strong there. But these are my favorite cars, so I'm not going to give up a chance to win and not show up. I'm going to show up as much as I can in these.
All right. Well, once again, you do start 24th tonight. You made your way all the way up into first, lead 39 laps. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Like to give a shout out to you guys for broadcasting Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, all our different leagues. Like to thank all the drivers for racing clean tonight. There was a couple times, I believe it was, I don't remember exactly who it was, but there was somebody right on me, and he was racing me really clean. Could have raced me a little bit more aggressively, but I really respect the racing we've got out here. It's a lot of fun. I'd also like to thank the admins, for putting on the league. I'd like to thank my teammate, Ryan Gemmel. I know he had a tough night tonight. He had a fast car, and he got caught up in one of those wrecks. But thank him for his encouragement throughout the end of the race there. And, on to next week.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. Is this the first win for MB Motorsports since you guys started that?
That is correct.
All right. Well, congrats to MB Motorsports. Congrats to yourself once again on that first place finish. And we hope to talk to you next week out at Las Vegas.
Thank you.
All right. And Al Smith, let's go ahead and go through the results if you'd like to take the top 10.
Yeah, as you just heard, Adam Baker picking up the win after starting 24th. Brad Hicks will come home in your number 2 spot. Eric Barilli, Ivan Jones, and Chris Grosso rounding out the top 5. Joe Mitchell was 6th, followed by Justin McDuff. Ronald Etheridge will finish in your 8th spot. 9th will be David Gainforth after starting 13th. And rounding out your top 10, starting 26th, was Bob Skinner.
Coming in 11th tonight is David Howard Jr. Daniel Haney will take the 12th spot. Thomas Keene, involved in a wreck late, will take 13th. Dean Viney will take 14th. John Estes, 15th. Jay Dubuque, 16th. Lynn McNeese will come away 7 laps down in 17th. Michael Palmer will also finish 7 laps down in 18th. Ryan Gemmel for MB Motorsports, his teammate, got the win. He will finish back in 19th, 11 laps down. Paul Cohen will round out your top 20, 12 laps down.
And finishing 21st, I believe all these drivers were all behind the wall. Keith Haney, after starting on the pole, will finish in the 21st spot. Paul Zoda will finish 22nd, followed by James Haney, Travis Wall, and Joe Owen rounding out in the 25th spot. Bobby Jonas, 26th. Jim Locking, 27th. Rob Whittemore, 28th. Sean Lejeune will finish 29th. And rounding out the field, the number 88 of Jeff Glockner. And unofficially, Brad Hicks is into the chase. Steve David Gainforth is in. I have the unofficial top 12, and the driver last in is Chris Samard. So he beats out Keith Haney by a total of 6 points. So if Keith didn't get into trouble earlier, it could have been a different story for him. So he'll be the one driver on the outside looking in. David Howard Jr. gets in. Daniel Haney is in. Dean Viney, Ryan Gamel, Michael Palmer, Joe Mitchell, Thomas Keene, Justin McDuff, Eric Barilli, David Gainforth, and Brad Hicks are your 12 drivers unofficially that are going to be headed to the chase this season.
All right, make sure to check in next week as we head to Las Vegas. Should be another great race as they start the chase here in the Lazy Days Racing Xfinity Series. Make sure to subscribe to Max Speed TV 3 and hit that like button to help us out here. And we will be back every week until they finish the series here. And this is, I believe, going till December, I believe. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and check it out. Al Smith, what's your thoughts on the race?
Oh, after I got out of the elevator, oh man, that was a mistake and a half, Steve. But anyway, we got out of there. We were able to get up into the booth up here, and I thought it was a good race. I think the setup made for interesting racing. It was good to see that long green flag run. That really set up the end of the race, I feel. I feel like a lot of drivers used the long runs to make the moves, end up getting up front. It was definitely an entertaining race as we saw 3-4 wide. We had fenders rubbing. We had it all tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting with that Daytona setup here. But, like we were saying at the beginning of the broadcast, it was that kind of super speedway feel here at Auto Club tonight, and have a super speedway setup just kind of added to it. So these guys did a great job driving that setup around, kind of, a little bit of adversity, and they were able to conquer it and come out here and get 70 laps of green flag racing in. So with that, I would like to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out the race once again tonight. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And to everybody out there, have a good night.